The lights of the grand stage burned bright, yet in the middle of all the glitz and glamour stood a boy who looked nothing like the world expected. His clothes were simple, a bit worn from everyday use, his shoes slightly torn, but his eyes carried a spark that could light up even the darkest corner. The audience murmured, some curious, some doubtful, wondering what this boy could possibly bring to such a massive stage. But inside, his heart pounded not with fear, but with hope. This was his one chance, and he was ready to give it all. The judges smiled politely, asking his name and where he came from. He told them he came from a small town where music was not a luxury but a dream, a place where his family struggled to put food on the table but always encouraged him to sing. From the way he spoke, his humility was clear, but his voice had not yet been heard. As the soft guitar intro to Hotel California began, the room held its breath. Nobody expected what would happen next. The very first note that left his lips silenced the whispers. It wasn't just singing, it was raw emotion, pain, joy, and hope all woven into sound. His voice carried the weight of every sleepless night he had spent practicing in secret, of every dream he had built while standing under the stars with nothing but his imagination. The audience sat frozen, their doubts melting away as his words painted pictures of a world far beyond the stage. His voice wasn't trained in expensive studios or polished with professional lessons, it was shaped by hardship, by hunger, by love for a dream too powerful to die. As he sang, tears welled up in the eyes of strangers who had never met him before. The judges exchanged glances, visibly moved. One of them leaned forward, almost whispering, "This boy isn't just singing a song, he's living it." His high note soared through the theater, echoing through every heart, reminding everyone of their own struggles, their own hopes, their own dreams that once felt unreachable. But behind this breathtaking performance was a boy who had faced mountains far bigger than the stage itself. His family had been poor all his life, and there were days when his mother had to sacrifice meals just to ensure her children could eat. Music was his only escape from the harshness of reality. He had been told countless times that dreams like his belonged only to the rich, that kids like him were meant to work, not to dream. He had felt the sting of laughter when he sang in the streets for a little spare change. Yet here he was, standing tall, turning pain into beauty. As he reached the chorus, his voice grew stronger, and the audience rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, some even crying openly. The judges couldn't hide their emotions either. One judge covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Another nodded, his eyes glassy with admiration. The song wasn't just being performed, it was being reborn through the voice of a boy who had nothing but gave everything. The final note hung in the air like magic, vibrating in the silence before the explosion of applause. The theater erupted with cheers louder than thunder, people standing, shouting, crying. The boy, trembling from the intensity of what he had just given, lowered his head humbly, tears slipping down his cheeks. He thought the moment was over, but what came next changed his life forever. Without hesitation, one of the judges slammed their hand down on the golden buzzer. Confetti burst into the air, raining gold over the boy, covering him in a shower of dreams turned reality. The audience screamed louder than ever, the judges rushed to their feet, clapping with everything they had. The boy froze, staring at the golden storm above him, unable to process that his voice had just unlocked a door that had always felt closed. Through tears, he whispered words of gratitude. He thanked his parents, his siblings, and every person who ever told him not to give up. For the first time, he believed fully that his voice mattered, that his struggles had not been in vain. He had transformed years of pain into a single golden moment that would inspire millions. The story of that boy's Hotel California performance spread beyond the stage. Clips of his singing went viral, people across the world sharing his voice, his story, his heart. Strangers were inspired to chase their own dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. Parents told their children, "Look at this boy, he never gave up." That night, as he left the stage with confetti still clinging to his hair, he wasn't just a poor boy anymore. He was proof that greatness can come from the humblest of beginnings, that even the smallest voices can shake the world if they sing with pure soul. By the end, his story left a message that echoed far beyond the music. No matter where you come from, no matter how hard life has been, your passion can turn your pain into power. And when you believe, the world will listen.